Madam Speaker, I would remind the supporters of the resolution that more than 70% of the American people in opinion polls oppose President Truman and his policy in Korea, and that is now looked upon as one of the turning points in the Cold War. With that, Madam Speaker, I recognize the gentleman from Mississippi, Mr. Wicker, who is a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel and a member of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee. Recognize him for 6 minutes.
Gentleman from Mississippi is recognized for 6 minutes.
I thank my friend for yielding. Madam Speaker, on December 31, 1776, with the fate of the Revolution in doubt, General George Washington faced a challenge of convincing his soldiers to stay in the fight. With their enlistments over, they wanted to go home. Washington made an impassioned plea and even offered volunteers a bonus, but no one responded. He spoke again, saying that all they held dear was at stake. And finally, one man stepped forward. Then others followed. Public opinion at that time was not on Washington's side. Only a third of the population supported the war for independence. 1/3 were openly hostile, and another 1/3 simply did not want to be involved. We should be grateful that George Washington was not obsessed with public opinion polls. Only days earlier, Thomas Paine had written, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will in this crisis shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered." Unquote. In the summer of 1863, Colonel Joshua Chamberlain of Maine faced a similar crisis. He had to convince a group of mutineers to stand and fight in a key battle. He promised to plead their case later if they rejoined the ranks. They did, and helped him win the Battle of Gettysburg. Public opinion at that time was running against President Lincoln and the war. It was lasting longer and costing more than anticipated. In Congress, Democrats demanded the troops be brought home immediately, but Lincoln stood by his convictions and won the war. It's easy for us to look back on these pivotal moments in our nation's history without remembering how tough the going was, how reluctant many of our own people were, and how it took strong leadership to bring about victory. Now let's contrast those times with the situation today in Iraq. Clearly the American people are tired and impatient with this war, and many believe we cannot win. Yet troop morale is high. In testimony before Congress last week, the senior enlisted personnel from each service, the National Guard and the Reserves, said our forces in Iraq believe in what they're doing and that positive things are being accomplished. But you don't have to take their word for it. The enlistment and re-enlistment figures themselves are a testimony to the commitment of our troops. All service branches met and exceeded their goals in both categories in 2006. The Command Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps told our committee that young people join the Marines today to get to the fight. Knowing full well they will go to Iraq, they are signing up with enthusiasm and purpose. It almost takes your breath away to hear the troops who've been there say they continue to believe in our mission and want to see it through to completion. I hear the same thing from my constituents who've returned from Iraq. They express frustration about the news media's focus on the bad news. Returning troops tell their successes in helping steer Iraq toward a path of democracy and freedom. I received an email this week from a Mississippi soldier in Iraq. He said, and I quote, "No one wants everybody home more than I do, but we must finish the job. We are doing good things here and taking bad guys out of the game," unquote. The most important question in today's debate is what message does this resolution send to our military, to the volunteers who are serving so proudly in harm's way? And make no mistake, they are listening to what we say here and watching what we do here. Will the passage of this resolution give our troops encouragement? I don't think so. The Americans are conflicted about this war. A CBS poll this week showed that only 44% of Americans support this resolution. 45% are opposed. That's all the more reason for leaders to lead. Washington and Lincoln were not concerned about public opinion polls. They did what was necessary to succeed, and that's what's called for in the halls of Congress today. I'm convinced that deep in their hearts, most Americans realize we are in a serious global war for survival against an enemy that wants to wipe us off the face of the earth. When all is said and done, the American people want us to win this war. Success in Iraq is a key element in winning against the terrorists. Osama bin Laden's chief deputy has urged al-Qaeda operatives in Iraq to expel the Americans, extend the jihad wave to neighboring countries, and 2 weeks ago he spoke of Afghanistan and Iraq as two, quote, most crucial fields. I regret to say that enemies like these will be pleased when this resolution passes. Let's send the terrorists a message of strength and resolve. And I have 10 extra seconds.
Madam Speaker, I yield the gentleman 10 seconds.
Gentleman yields 10 additional
Madam
seconds.
Speaker, let's send the terrorists a message of strength and resolve. Let's send a message of support and unity and confidence and appreciation to our troops. This resolution sends the wrong message, and I will vote against it.
Time has expired. Gentleman